The Wonder never entirely lost me, but what at first began as a fascinating period thriller eventually transformed into a more familiar, but nevertheless compelling period drama carried by excellent performances. Welcome back to my channel, movie fans. It is time for another LFF review, and today we are discussing the Sebastán Lelio directed period piece, The Wonder, starring Florence Pugh and set in the Irish Midlands in 1859 as an English nurse, Lib Wright, travels to a tiny village to observe and study what some are calling a medical anomaly and others a miracle. 11-year-old Anna O'Donnell has survived without food for 4 months, to the point where tourists flock to see her, and even a London journalist has traveled to cover this sensation. And this is quite an odd period piece, not because of the way it plays out or even the underlying subtext present due to the time period it is set in, but because of the framing device it uses to start and bookend the movie. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but it felt entirely pointless apart from completely taking me out of the film, where it tonally feels jarring and honestly never added any new layers to this story, where it essentially plays out as this quiet, unsettling tale of a woman dealing with her own past tragedies as she observes this family crumbling apart due to their blind devotion. Lelio's direction and the visuals create this immersive atmosphere through the marshlands of old Ireland, to the point where the setting becomes a character in and of itself, helped by a haunting score that just gets under your skin enough without feeling too overbearing, and it helps this film's slow burn intensity because the way it plays out is all through the eyes of Florence Pugh's character, who once again brings this commanding stillness to the screen. Honestly, she can do no wrong, continuously displaying limitless range in every single performance she delivers, and she has to do so much without a single word. Not only that, she has to do a lot with scenes that kind of feel repetitive at first, but each time you go back to scenes that on the surface play out the exact same way, it's the little nuances that she delivers with looks and mannerisms, body language, the way she begins to observe this young girl and her family trying to understand what is going on as she is sent into this house alongside a nurse for her to observe if this is actually something medical, something scientific that she can study, or if it's a miracle given to this family by God. And little by little, she stops being an inactive protagonist. She can't abide with what is happening and not do anything. And it's that unsettlingness inside her that makes it so captivating to watch and makes her journey so compelling as you unpeel the layers behind her character and begin to understand what brought her to here and what makes her so invested in this family, what makes her so curious, because this is a character that doesn't just accept things as they're told to her, as they're shown to her. She questions everything. She has a lot of critical thinking, and that's a fascinating character to follow in a story. The film's setup inherently generates so much intrigue that to have a character that through her journey feels as invested and as intrigued as us, the audience, is immensely satisfying. Diving deep into these thematic examinations on faith, science, duty, ethics, and all through her POV, presenting compelling points of view and discussion. And I think the way the film plays the relationship between the nurse and this young child off is brilliant. Kyla Lord Cassidy, who plays young Anna, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, is the perfect counterbalance to Pugh's Lib Wright, where the two come from such different backgrounds and have such different life experiences, and the way they debate all these topics with one another feels so riveting to watch, despite these being very static, one-to-one conversations. And the way the film plays this out as a drama always felt short of expectations, because the ideas, the topics of discussion are always more compelling in concept than they are in execution. The film's undercurrent is a meditation on the problem of blind devotion. You have a family riddled in poverty who fully believe their daughter is a newborn saint in a period where Ireland had been ravaged by a wide famine that many blamed on their English sovereigns. But the way it plays it all out never feels as satisfying as the way it sets it all up as this mystery to be unveiled, because it's very much a straightforward drama, which is good. It plays out quite well. The performances carry it all the way through, but it dips its toes into thriller territory, but never fully commits to it, and that felt so underwhelming. And I very much respect Lelio as a storyteller for never holding the audience's hand. He leaves a lot of stuff open to interpretation and shrouded in ambiguity, and that's part of the intrigue. That's part of the mystery. But a ton of his vague suggestions as to the story's hidden meanings and even symbolism, in this case, more so created confusion rather than clarify a ton of the conflicts. It never fully commits to anything, and so the conflicts feel muddled, and a big part of that is because a ton of the characters, apart from Florence Pugh, are so ill-defined and we never get to spend much time with them. Overall, The Wonder never entirely lost me, but what at first began as a fascinating period thriller eventually transformed into a more familiar but nevertheless compelling period drama carried by excellent performances. But before I dive into my final thoughts on The Wonder, I need you to start the conversation about it in the comments below. Did you catch it at LFF? Did you catch it at Netflix by the time you find this video? What is your favorite Florence Pugh performance of the year? And I have many more LFF reviews right up here for you to check out. And if you're enjoying my LFF coverage, if you're enjoying this review, or if you just love movies and TV, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Florence Pugh is hypnotizing with her quiet but commanding screen presence in The Wonder. Immaculately crafted in both visuals and sound, but never as compelling as its ideas of faith versus science and duty versus belief promise to be. I needed more of its tragic characters, circumstances, and relationships, and a lot less of its suggestive, vague nature and jarring framing device. I'm giving The Wonder a B. That's my take on The Wonder. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for many more LFF reviews to come very soon. There's a playlist around here somewhere for you to check out. Thank you so much for joining my coverage, and big thanks to my channel members for always supporting the channel. And so until the next one, love each other and love the movies.